the program as a strategic intervention designed to complement government funding by helping universities mobilize additional resources through alumni networks, donor partnerships, endowments, and institutional collaborations.
Meanwhile, the federal government says it will institutionalize the National Learning Assessment every 3 years as part of efforts to tackle learning poverty and improve the quality of education across the country. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, disclosed this today in Abuja after monitoring the ongoing 2026 National Learning Assessment in selected public and private schools in the FCT. It was gathered that the minister visited Government Secondary School, Kuje, Junior Secondary School, JSS, Kuje Central, and Tupaz Model School, Kuje, to access the exercise. Alausa said the assessment, which covers Primary 3, Primary 5, GSS 2, as well as Senior Secondary School 2 pupils and students, was designed to evaluate literacy, numeracy, and cognitive skills. It said the exercise would henceforth be conducted every 3 years, adding that the Universal Basic Education Commission had been directed to make budgetary provision for it from 2029.
In the meantime, the federal government has been urged to engage critical stakeholders in developing a workable framework for the proposed 12-year basic education policy. Experts also called for a comprehensive review of the curriculum every 5 years to ensure it reflects the changing needs of society. An education measurement and evaluation expert, Professor Adams Onuka, and an educationist, Dr. Muyiwa Bangbushi, made the call while analyzing the federal government's proposed merger of the junior and senior secondary school systems on BCOS Television's breakfast program, AM 120. BCOS reporter Oluyole, who monitored the program, has more.
Analyzing the topic GSS SSS schools merger, solution or setback on the AM120 program, an education measurement and evaluation expert, Professor Adams Onuka, identified poor policy implementation and evaluation as major challenges confronting Nigeria's education sector, noting that many government policies fail because they are not effectively implemented. Professor Onuka observed that the 6334 education system fell short of public expectations. However, he stressed that educational reforms are inevitable to meet evolving societal needs, adding that the success of the proposed 12-year basic education policy will depend largely on effective implementation. Speaking on Nigeria's over 20 million out-of-school children, he urged government to identify and address the root causes of the problem through proper research, emphasizing that weak implementation has continued to undermine efforts to improve the education sector. Also speaking on the program, an educationist, Dr. Muyiwa Bangbushi, said Nigeria often seeks solutions to educational challenges without first carrying out a proper diagnosis. He noted that he had long expressed reservations about the 6334 education system. According to him, no single policy can adequately address the country's educational challenges because of its diverse population and varying educational needs. Dr. Bangbushi therefore advocated an education system that is dynamic, flexible, and responsive to emerging realities. Both analysts agree that the proposed merger could either be a solution or a setback depending on the framework adopted and the quality of implementation. They emphasized that adequate funding, regular curriculum reviews, and effective collaboration among government and other critical stakeholders are essential to the success of the proposed policy. Oluyole, BCOS News.
Growing concerns by Nigerians over the rate at which the federal government borrows to fund its economic needs. The World Bank has said that the country is not highly indebted. It described Nigeria as a moderately indebted country, noting that the West Africa's most populous nation does not have a high indebtedness problem, but a low revenue problem. Nigerian's director of the World Bank, Matthew Verges, who disclosed this while speaking with newsmen today, explained that Nigeria borrows for the same reason that other countries do, to meet their economic needs. It further advised that focus should be on increasing revenue to provide better outcomes, better jobs, and lower poverty.
Another batch of Nigerians evacuated from South Africa amid ongoing anti-migrant violence have arrived safely at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, today. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mrs. Bianca Odumegwu-Ojukwu, disclosed that the flight conveyed 268 returnees alongside 2 officers and crew members from Johannesburg to Lagos. In a statement posted on our X handle, Odumegwu-Ojukwu said President Tinubu had directed that the evacuation exercise should continue despite the expiration of the June 30 ultimatum issued by anti-migrant groups in South Africa. She noted that 3 earlier evacuation flights had already brought home nearly 600 Nigerians before the deadline, adding that the exercise remains ongoing for all citizens who voluntarily registered and were duly screened.
A fire outbreak at the Bono Energy Terminal within the Ibru Jetty complex along the Apapa-Oworonshoki Expressway near Coconut Bus Stop in Oluyole, Lagos, was successfully contained today by the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service. The incident, which involved a 5 million litre automotive gas oil (AGO) storage tank, was reported at 12:04 p.m. as firefighters from the Ajegunle, Sarigomu and Isolo fire stations responded swiftly, arriving at the scene by 12:16 p.m. In a statement by the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service signed by Controller General of the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, Margaret Adeshoye, explained that the cause of the fire has yet to be determined and is under investigation. Emergency responders working in collaboration with teams from neighboring oil and gas facilities brought the blaze under control and completely extinguished it by 1:54 p.m. Authorities said a prompt and coordinated response prevented the fire from spreading to adjoining storage tanks and other critical infrastructure, significantly reducing the risk of extensive damage. Authorities added that no casualties was recorded in the incident.
In a related development, a devastating fire outbreak has ravaged the popular Bode market in Ibadan, destroying more than 100 shops and goods worth millions of naira. Residents said the inferno started in the early hours of today, leaving many traders stranded and counting their losses. Staff reporter Olubunmi Lawal was there, and our report is presented by Bimisola Adebayo.
At the popular herb section of Bode Market in Ibadan are lamenting heavy losses following a fire outbreak that occurred in the early hours of Friday. Eyewitnesses and victims said the inferno engulfed several shops, destroying goods, property, and means of livelihood accumulated over many years. Many of the affected traders, visibly distressed, were seen assessing the extent of the damage while appealing to government and well-meaning individuals for assistance to help them recover from the incident.
ẹjọ́ nítorí ọlọ́ áùsù wa ò àánú la bèrè fún òkìjọba kó jọ kó mọ́ wà lọ́wọ́. Gbogbo ọjà wa ó dojú rú ni tó jẹ́ kó jóná táàrí pínì báyìí mú ó sì tún wá tó àwọn gàmá mi tán wà nínú tí wọ́n wà ní òpó mo rí pínì báyìí yọ bóde.
The Babaloja General of Oyo State, Alhaji Yekin Abbas, who led members of the market leadership on a sympathy visit to the scene, expressed gratitude that no life was lost in the incident. He assured the victims that efforts will be made to secure government intervention to cushion the effects of the disaster. Speaking on behalf of the chairman of Oyo State Fire Services Agency, the director of operation, Engineer Adeleke, disclosed that a distress call was received at about 4:33 a.m. He said firefighters were immediately deployed to the scene, but many of the affected shops had already been engulfed by flames before their arrival. He, however, noted that the agency successfully contained the fire and prevented it from spreading to other sections of the market.
I cannot say precisely what caused the fire because the post-fire investigation is going on. But what I can say as a professional that can lead to the fire incident is that most of the things that they store here, so the kind of materials that can absorb it by itself and then set itself on fire.
Bode Market is one of the largest markets in Ibadan, serving as a major hub for the sale of herbs, animal skins, and other traditional products.
The news.
Residents of Bodinga local government area of Sokoto State today staged a protest blocking the Bodinga-Sokoto highway to demand urgent government intervention following renewed bandit attacks on several communities. The protest followed reports of fresh attacks that allegedly claimed lives, displaced families, and left several residents missing. It was reported that the protesters accused authorities of failing to protect communities from the persistent attacks. According to him, residents said the violence had forced many people to flee their homes, while some families had become separated in the chaos and were still searching for missing relatives. As of the time of filing these reports, the Sokoto state government and security agencies had not officially commented on the reported attacks or the protest.
In the world of sports, 3 African countries will be looking to extend the continent's campaign at the 2026 FIFA World Cup today as Egypt, Cape Verde and Ghana battle for places in the round of 16. Morocco are currently the only African side to have progressed to the last 16 after edging the Netherlands in a dramatic round of 32 encounter. The Atlas Lions held the Dutch to a 1-1 draw after extra time before winning the penalty shootout to book their place. Africa began the tournament with a record 10 teams following the World Cup's expansion and enjoyed a remarkable group stage showing with 9 countries advancing to the knockout rounds. Tunisia was the only African nation eliminated before the round of 32. Egypt will open the day's action against Australia in Dallas, with the Pharaohs hoping to continue what has already become one of their best World Cup campaigns in recent history.
On the foreign scene, at least 32 people were killed and 16 others injured after an overcrowded passenger bus plunged into a ravine in southwestern Pakistan. Foreign desk editor Folashade Akintola compiled the story and others was presented by Bimbo Akombi.
The bus was traveling from Quetta to Peshawar when it crashed in the Danasar mountain range on the border between Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa provinces at about 0800 local time on Friday. A government official at Zob Hospital told press that a total of 48 people, including a number of women and children, had been on board when the accident happened. The cause of the crash is under investigation, but preliminary reports suggest a steering fault may have led the driver to lose control before skidding off the mountain range. Photographs from the scene showed the deadly damaged bus following its plunge to the bottom of the ravine. Officials confirmed the injured were taken to the district headquarters hospital in Zob, about 68 kilometers from the crash site. France has said it recorded an increase of more than 2,000 deaths during the last week over a record-breaking European heatwave in June, as forecasters warn of further extreme temperatures on the continent in the next few days. Deaths rose 29% in the last week of June compared to the week before, with French Health Minister Stéphane Rist adding that there had been a clear increase in deaths among those over 45. France saw its hottest day ever on average countrywide on 24th June, with temperatures hitting almost 41 centigrade in Paris and half the nation placed under a red heat alert. News of the death toll comes with parts of Europe, including the UK, braced for more searing temperatures from this weekend. Climate change is driving up temperatures around the world, but particularly in Europe. It is the fastest warming continent, heating up twice as fast as the global average, according to the Copernicus Climate Services. A Ukrainian woman has been identified as the main suspect for a parcel bombing in Monaco that seriously wounded a sanctioned Ukrainian multimillionaire and two others. An Interpol red notice has been issued for Anastasia Berezovska, 39, who speaks German and is wanted for attempted murder, placing an explosive device on a public road with criminal intent and criminal conspiracy. Police are looking into identifying any possible accomplices as they continue to search for the named suspect. Just before 2100, that is 1900 GMT on Monday, an individual left a package in the entrance hall of a small apartment building, followed by an explosion shortly afterwards. The explosion happened just as three residents were entering, a couple and a 13-year-old. The suspect, pictured on CCTV cameras wearing a dark bucket hat, was then seen fleeing towards the French commune of Oluyole. Monaco's prosecutor thanked police from Monaco and France for their cooperation, which made it possible to identify in a particularly short time the person suspected of having carried out the attacks. Bimbo Akonbi, BCUS News.
To end this edition of Newscope, here again are the top stories. The federal government has announced the payment of more than 39 billion naira in inherited pension liabilities owed to thousands of pensioners under the defined benefit scheme, saying the settlement fulfills President Bola Tinubu's commitment to clearing long-standing pension debts.
Panic erupted at the Lagos Tank Farm cluster in Ibafun, Apapa today after a fire broke out at the Bono Tank Farm located within the Tank Farm complex.
A devastating fire outbreak has ravaged the popular Bode market in Ibadan, destroying more than 100 shops and goods worth millions of naira.
On the foreign scene, at least 32 people were killed and 16 others injured after an overcrowded passenger bus plunged into a ravine in southwestern Pakistan.
If you see something suspicious, alert the authorities immediately for timely response. Be vigilant. That's all from Newscope. It was packaged by Ajedoyin Olojede and delivered by
Barakat Adekunle and
Idowu Shekoni. Thanks for listening, and do not forget to tune in for the Yoruba version at 8 p.m. Good evening.
Oluyole FM 98.5.
Attention please, your safety matters. At home, lock your doors and windows. Know who is at your gate before you open. Do not share personal information with strangers online or even on the streets. Avoid isolated routes, especially at night. Board vehicles at designated parks. Tell someone where you are going. If you see something suspicious, say something. Report to the nearest police station or call the emergency helpline of your state 615. Do not take the law into your hands. Stay alert, stay safe, and stay secured at all times. Oluyole FM says, a safer Oyo State begins with all of us.
For a clean environment and good health, stop throwing refuse into streams. Get a drum or dustbin, throw all your refuse into it. The rains are here again. Don't drop your refuse into streams. Don't use your nuisance to create another nuisance.
Ibi gíga Olúyọ̀lé là ń gbọ́ tó bá jẹ́ tètò tó nítumọ̀. Olúyọ̀lé là ń gbọ́ tó bá jẹ́ tètò tó pín mìíràn.
Yàrá. Ẹ ǹlẹ́ ń bẹ̀ wọ ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ ètò Èyí Àrà. Ẹ sì kú àsìkò ọ̀rìnrìn yìí kò ní ṣọwọ́ òdì sí wa o. Àmín. Yorùbá bọ̀ wọ́n ní kárìn àpọ̀ yíyẹni yẹni. Ìyìn ilé ọ̀hún ilé. Ibi àbágbélé à sì ṣe kí ló wá dé. Tọ́mọ adúláwọ̀ kan náà wàá fẹ́mi ara wọn rí láàtàn mọ́. Ìfẹ́ ò wá sí mọ́. Kóńkó jabele kálukú ló ń ṣe tiẹ̀. Àwa tá a ti jọ ń bára wa ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀. Tá a wá dé èpo ẹ̀pà tá ìjírí mọ́. Xenophobia tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ South Africa. Táwọn ọmọ bíbí ilẹ̀ South Africa wá dẹni tó ń dẹ́yẹ sáwọn àrè òun àlejò tí wọ́n sì ń fìyà jẹ wọ́n lọ́nà àìtọ́. Kí ló fà á? Odòwò làásì ìdọ̀rùn lásì níbi tọ́rọ̀ dé dúró báyìí. Ohun tá a jọ pẹ̀kẹ́lù rèé o tó bá dọjọ́ Sunday lábala àkọ́kọ́. Téńté orí ìròyìn ni ó tẹ̀lé. Ọ̀mọ̀wé Adébímpé Adéròmú ló ń bọ̀ wá lábala kejì ètò níbi tá a ti ń gbàlejò. Òǹwòye àwùjọ ni wọ́n. Ọ̀rọ̀ ìdẹ́yẹsí ohun ìfìyàjẹni lọ́nà àìtọ́ la ó máa gbé yẹ̀wò. Ṣé bọ́mọ ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ kan náà ni gbogbo wa? Kí ló wá ń fa ìdẹ́yẹsí gan? Ọ̀nà wo la ó gbà ṣe é tí ṣọ̀kan ó fi padà sáàrin wa? Kí ni kó sì jẹ́ ìrètí àwọn tó ṣàgbákò ìdẹ́yẹsí yìí? Àwọn ìbéèrè wọ̀nyí àbọ̀mí ìtẹ́ bá ní ni kẹ́ bèrè lọ́wọ́ àlejò wa bó bá dọjọ́ Sunday lórí rédíò wa mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta náà ni o àti lórí móhùnmáwòrán ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lẹ́ ó máa wò wá ketekete lórí àwọn àti ayélujára wa gbogbo kẹ́ fi sọ́kàn. Ìròyìn eré ìdárayá náà sì ní gbẹ̀yìn bó bá dọjọ́ Àìkú. Èyí Àrà. Ìpàdé di Sunday.
Oluyole 98.5 FM.
Ìtọ́wò tó kí kọ́kọ́ ó wà ní sẹpẹ́ fáàsì ọbẹ̀ àtàdídín àti jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù aládùn yan ààyò ọlọ́gbọ́n yan góòlù kóró ìsebẹ̀ Terragold.
Kọ́rọ́ kan àrà tí ò lópin Terragold.
TS Charity. Ẹ̀yin tí wà ní BCOS ṣe ti gbọ́ pé BCOS ti wà lórí Naija TV app. Ṣé ti rí pé nóbi pépé dàbí reality? Kọ̀nfàmù ni ẹ ṣá máa wá kárí ayé o. BCOS to the world, BCOS ilé akéde. Ẹ̀yin tí wà lólúyọ̀lé FM. Ṣé ti gbọ́ pé a ti wà lórí Radio Box? Ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ kẹ́ máa gbọ́ wa kedere. Ó kilẹ̀ létí, ó milẹ̀ létí. Olúyọ̀lé FM 98.5 Olúyọ̀lé lórí Radio Box app. Ẹ̀yin tí wà ní BCOS ṣe ti gbọ́ pé BCOS ti wà lórí Naija TV app. Ṣé ti rí pé nóbi pépé na reality? Kọ̀nfàmù ni ẹ ṣá máa wò wá kárí ayé o. BCOS to the world, BCOS ilé akéde. BCOS ti wà lórí Naija TV app lórí àtẹ ìkànnì ayélujára Naija TV. Ẹ̀ka tó ń pawó wọlé commercial department ti BCOS ilé akéde ló ní ká sọ fún gbogbo wa pé láti túbọ̀ máa jẹ̀gbádùn àwọn ètò ọlọ́kanòjọ̀kan wa.